night, and then we will have time for any questions that you may have. The execution will take place shortly after midnight on September 5th, as it did last time. The media center will once again be set up in the Stephen Anderson building on the campus of the Utah State Correctional Facility. Anyone wishing to be part of the media center as far as coverage goes will need to make sure to put in for credentials for that. You will not be able to get in unless your name is approved on a list. We will explain and have information at the end of this meeting, and also we will follow up with an email on how to go about doing that. The media center will open up at 3 p.m. on Thursday, September 4th. Starting at 4 p.m., we will have hourly updates on the situation and how things are going for the day. Anyone wishing to actually be a media witness, we will be sending out a Google form for that. You will apply. There are certain requirements that need to be met. We have a limited number of spaces in the media room, and we do anticipate increased media attention and coverage due to the method that will be used this time. So we will stick by our policy, and there will be certain guidelines and requirements that need to be met, but we will review those that apply, and we will let those of you that are approved know. The deadline for applying for a media witness will be 5th. So you need to make sure to get it in by then. 2 days prior to the execution, so on the 3rd, anyone wanting to come out and get a layout of the media center will be allowed to do so. We will arrange for that. So any live truck situations, if you have any questions or just want to see how it will play out, we will be happy to let you in a couple days early to see that layout. However, we just did this last year, so it won't be any different from what we saw last time. Most of you already saw the layout and understand how that will work, but we'll be happy to go through that again. On the day of, most roads will be closed, so you will have a couple checkpoints if you are credentialed media that you will need to show your ID to be able to get through those checkpoints. And then you will just proceed to the main clearance point of the Utah State Correctional Facility, where you will be allowed in at that point to come into the media center. The free speech zone will once again be set up in the same location as well. That's out on 8000 West and 700 North. We will have this situation and setup that we had last time, where there will be fencing for those who wish to exercise their freedom of speech for and against the death penalty. On that note, I believe we've covered everything. You will walk out today with a one-pager explaining all the information on what you need to know to cover the event. And then we will be following that up with an email through our regular distribution chain as well. And on that note, we will go ahead and take any questions that any of you have.
Given that the last time Utah executed someone by firing squad was back in 2010, does the state feel prepared to carry out that specific method? And how will this be different logistically from a lethal injection execution?
So to answer your first part, we are prepared to carry out this type of execution through a firing squad. The logistics are just a little bit different on how we locate firing squad members. We're just getting started with that process. And as Glenn mentioned, the room is the exact same room. The difference is a person, the condemned, is strapped down to a gurney during a lethal injection. And in this case, they will be in a chair sitting up. Outside of that, things are very similar.
How will you recruit the firing squad members, and what will their qualifications be?
You know, that's still yet to be determined. We're still kind of working through that. And so I don't really have an answer for you today yet.
Are you establishing a protocol for how you'll be deciding that? Or
Yes. We'll want to make sure that there are people that are, first of all, mentally prepared to participate in this type of assignment. As you can imagine, it shouldn't be taken lightly. And also we want to make sure that they are skilled in an area that requires this as well. So those are things I'm considering, and I want to make sure that this goes through in a professional and a dignified way, and that we do it right.
Extra accommodations you have to make for a firing squad execution for someone who uses a wheelchair, uses an oxygen tank, compared to the last firing squad execution where he was more able-bodied person?
No, I don't believe so. We monitor just like anybody that's in our care. We have them monitored with medical personnel. We will do the same here, and again, make sure that we carry this out in a dignified way.
Are there any more specifics you can offer on exactly how the state is preparing for that day? Like, I don't know, equipment, what kind of equipment will be used? Just any other specifics you can offer about how the state's preparing.
I can elaborate. The weapons are 30 caliber weapons. We're not going to elaborate further on the make, the model, or anything like that. But again, preparations are not much different than last year's execution. Really, again, just the methodology that we're using is really the only difference. Outside of that, we feel like it will flow very similar to last year.
So I know there will probably be some more legal proceedings, but you're proceeding as if this will be happening on September 5th, barring any other legal approvals.
Yes, ma'am. We have a warrant, an execution warrant that we plan on fulfilling on September 5th. But as always, we will monitor the courts. We'll communicate with our attorneys, and we will stand ready to change plans if needed.
You say just after midnight, September 5th, that is on the date of September 5th? The morning after,
Yes,
correct?
it would be September 4th going into September 5th at 0001 hours.
Has the housing situation changed now that that execution warrant has been signed? Can you talk about that, or any like increased monitoring? Is there any of potential suicide watch, anything like that?
It is common for us to monitor all of those things that you mentioned. We are currently evaluating his housing situation. And again, we want to make sure that we're able to carry this out in a professional and dignified way. We want to make sure we're showing respect and to him as well, and making him comfortable as well, helping him to be as comfortable as he possibly can. So those things are constantly being evaluated. Not only his phone calls and visits and those things, but anything that could create harm to our community or to our facilities as well. Those are all things that we pay attention to.
And I would just add that that happened prior to the warrant being signed. It didn't just happen because the warrant was signed.
Is there access to family members change at all, or does that remain the same as well?
It will likely remain the same. As we get closer to the date, we will adjust potentially and evaluate.
All right, anything else? Okay, appreciate all of you being here, and we will be in touch. Make sure to grab one of these one-pagers on the way out, and then we will follow up with that email later this afternoon. Thank you.
Let's be real. Most people over 40 use ChatGPT like it's Google.